We are 3 in 1 and 1 in 3. We are body, mind, and spirit. Our quest as evolutionary beings is to master each of these 3 aspects of our being so that we can evolve physically, mentally, and spiritually. Mastering and harmonizing these 3 aspects is the key to achieving total well-being. Integration is the pathway to mental, physical, and spiritual harmony, and the only way to progress on our evolutionary journey. On this path, you will experience physical, mental, and spiritual well-being by mastering and harmonizing your body, mind, and spirit. As 3 in 1 and 1 in 3, you will lighten up by purifying your body, liberating your mind, and unleashing your creative spirit. As you master and harmonize your body, mind, and spirit, you will begin to unleash your highest potential in every aspect of your life. Are you ready to lighten up?
Welcome to Lighten Up, evolutionary wellness for the body, mind, and spirit. Here are your co-hosts, inspirational author, motivational speaker, and wellness expert Suzanne Ross, and Susie Garcia, award-winning registered dietitian and international best-selling author. Let's welcome Suzanne Ross and Susie Garcia.
Hello, welcome to Lighten Up. I'm Suzanne Ross.
And I'm Susie Garcia.
We have such an interesting show today. The theme is awakening from suffering. And it's such a common theme among people who pursue a career in wellness.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And suffering sounds kind of dreary, but it's real. And people really do suffer and then pull themselves back up. And our stories of inspiration today are really amazing. I can't wait to get to them.
And the reason these people have gone into a place of suffering is because they weren't aligned with their true calling. Mm-hmm. And so they felt lost, and oftentimes this leads to anxiety and depression, but then something happened that ignited a fire within them, and they discovered their true passion.
Yeah, so Suzanne, I know that you have sort of your own experience of an enlightenment that happened. Tell me a little bit about that.
I do. So about 20 years ago, I was misaligned with my true calling by working in the corporate world. I had been living in Southern California and got transferred to the East Coast to work for a major corporation. And I just found the politics to be very mean-spirited, and the demands of the work were unreasonable, and I was just very unhappy with what I was doing. And I started to experience anxiety as well as a variety of physical ailments. So I decided I needed a break from it all and went to visit my family in the desert of Southern California. Was having the time of my life, and then one day I woke up and realized I would have to go back to purgatory.
It's like, no!
Exactly. And I actually woke up one morning in a complete panic about having to go back, and so I ran out the front door. I felt compelled to run towards these mountains. I ran straight to the top. I threw up my arms and I just said, please help me. I am miserable and I see no way out. And then suddenly this total sense of calm washed over me. My shoulders dropped, and I literally felt like I was being embraced by the air around me. And a voice within me and all around me just said, can't you see you've come home? You will stay here and heal yourself and many others. And as I looked out over the desert landscape, I just knew this to be true. I knew it was the truth for me, and without a shredded out, I ran down the mountain and began my new life in Southern California as a healer. I opened a wellness center, and for 12 years I stayed there and healed myself and many others.
Yeah, that is a fantastic story. And I'm sure there are people that have that anxiety on Sunday night, getting ready to go to their job the next morning. I mean,
Right.
It's a real thing that happens. It might not be as dramatic, but if that's something that you feel, really pay attention to some of the stories that we're going to talk about, because you may realize that there is something not aligning right if you're that tense just to go to work the next day.
And there's something out there that will really ignite your passion, and it's just a matter of finding that by going within and discovering your own truth about who you really are. And oftentimes something that you're just passionate about right now, it might be a hobby or something that you just love to do on the weekends, you know, that can actually lead to a career that's very fulfilling and gratifying. So Susie, I know that you were going to school to be a registered dietitian and became one, so you're very happy with your career choice.
Absolutely.
But it was actually sort of a personal challenge that led you to awaken from suffering.
Yeah, it did. I was in a really bad marriage for 12 years. It was alcohol, drugs, abuse, black eyes, broken ribs. That, you know, it's really awful. And it actually happens to a lot of women. When I share it, I find that it's really very, very common, which is sad. But I was, you know, we were going to church. I felt it was the right thing to do to, you know, stick it out. And when you're in that kind of situation, it becomes your new normal. Like, you don't really realize how screwed up your thinking is because you've changed your way. So, I mean, I wasn't myself anymore. And the great moment, which seems not great, is I discovered that he cheated on me, and that was my permission to leave. I was like, oh, good, somebody else can take care of him.
Thank you for that permission to go.
And so I left, ended up moving to California, and I was house sitting for my aunt and uncle. Just planned to stay for a month, wasn't planning to settle here. And I was watching a TV documentary, The Blue Man Group, which is just one of my favorites, and they read a quote by Joseph Campbell which said about following your bliss. And that just was like, oh,
life-changing moment.
It really was. I mean, I'm literally watching this little bitty TV on a, you know, beautiful, you know, granite kitchen counter, but it was just such a weird, you know, serendipity to happen. And that's how everything started to roll here in California. I was able to finally start my own business, which I'd always wanted to do, but I couldn't because of that mess. And, you know, I got some great corporate contracts, got just a whole lot of, just, again, it's the serendipity and then meeting you, and so it continues. So,
and it does happen that way. It's like when you do discover your bliss, all of these synchronistic events start unfolding all around you. And amazing people show up at just the right times. It's like suddenly you're in the flow and everything is just falling into place perfectly, and that's when you know that you have found your true calling.
Yeah. And I think one thing, like you talked about how, you know, you held up your hands and you're just, you know, help me. And that's why spirituality is so important to both of us, that, you know, whether it's God, source, universe, but that there's something else out there, and you have to listen and pay attention. Because there could be signs that have been sprinkled in your life.
Right.
And that serendipity is out there for you, but if you're not paying attention and if you don't have your eyes open to getting that little bit of help, then you might miss where that little nugget is. I mean, for me, a documentary about guys with blue faces that beat on drums with paint. You know, who would have thought that would
became
have
a significant sign for you.
Exactly.
You never know where it's going to come from, and it could just be a song on the radio that hits you a certain way, or, you know, like something that you see on TV. So it's not that you necessarily have to be really spiritual or very religious, you know, to have these inspirational moments. But you just have to keep your eyes and ears wide open.
Absolutely.
They talk about asking your angels, you know, and that is wonderful to imagine that you have angels that are looking out for you. At the same time, it's just going within and connecting with your own, you know, higher self. For answers, you know, and to be intuitive.
Well, Suzanne, thank you so much for sharing your story. I was really excited to share mine as well, and we will be right back.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Ross, and I'm an integrative wellness specialist. You might be asking, what's an integrative wellness specialist do? I take practices for the body, mind, and spirit and combine them into programs that help you purify your body while at the same time you're liberating your mind of limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, and you're also engaging in spiritual practices that open you to connect with your higher self. By combining mind, body, and spirit practices, you begin to experience a sense of total well-being. If you're only doing practices for the mind and you're letting your body go and you're not paying attention to your spirituality, you're never feeling totally well. But when you start to feel better physically and you focus on practices for the mind and you bring in some spirituality, you really start to have a complete sense of total wellness. I offer one-on-one services as far as personal training, nutritional counseling, and some spiritual guidance. But I also offer group classes where we get together and have workshops. These are powerful because everybody gets to share their own personal stories and successes and failures along the way. I also offer online workshops as well. I hope that you'll join me at my website, www.suzannerosswellness.com, or just email me at suzanneross@suzannerossvibe.com. I can't wait to hear from you. Welcome back to Lighten Up. I'm so excited to introduce our next guest, Suzanne Aziz. She is a holistic chef and nutritional educator, and she has her own personal story of awakening from suffering.
And she really did suffer. Suzanne was originally a hairdresser and started feeling sicker and sicker and sicker, and ended up that she was totally toxic because of the chemicals that she was using to, work with her customers, and she ended up getting breast cancer. But what she found was that by eating well, she was able to help cure her breast cancer, and that inspired her to go to Bowman College and get her degree in culinary education and holistic chef. So it's just really a super inspirational story, and she's such a sweet woman. You'll just love her as soon as you see her.
Suzanne is adorable, and my interview with her was very educational and informative, but also really heartfelt. When she shares her personal story, you'll also, experience how dramatic it was for her to experience, the diagnosis of breast cancer, but then to awaken to a new career that actually, became very gratifying and fulfilling. And then she does a cooking demonstration and makes a delicious vegetable pate. We had so much fun.
I'm so sad that I missed getting to taste that.
Yes.
But we'll have the recipe for you so that you can make it at home and then I can make it too.
It was really delicious. So we are going to go to Suzanne Aziz's interview.
Don't go anywhere. Watch this interview. You'll love it.
I'm so delighted to have Suzanne Aziz with us today. Suzanne is a holistic chef and nutritional educator. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you so much. It is my pleasure, and it's a joy to be here today.
It's been a joy getting to know you. I heard about Suzanne at the Bay Area Wellness Center that I work at because several of my clients were saying that they were seeing the Suzanne who was magically repairing their digestion, helping them learn how to eat clean, and making them feel so much more energetic. So I had the pleasure of then meeting Suzanne, and we became fast friends. So let's talk about the Clean Gut program that you run.
It is a wonderful program, and it's really pretty basic and simple. You just have to gather the information and you're off and running. So what I teach in this 5-week program to start with is repairing digestion. So by repairing digestion, you're bringing your immune system up. 90% of your immune system starts in your gut. We also make our neurotransmitters in our gut also, and then they are transferred up to our brain. So they're the neurotransmitters like dopamine, melatonin, and serotonin. Those are the things that make us feel well, sleep well, and have energy. So it's imperative to do this while we're eating for health. We also remove most of the inflammatory foods for 21 days.
Yes, and that is very helpful. I know for myself, when I removed dairy and gluten, primarily inflammatory, right?
Yes.
I immediately felt so much better. My stomach flattened out, and my digestion, was much calmer.
Awesome. That's so wonderful. I'm telling you, it's really basic and simple, and then the body starts to heal. The body wants to be healthy. We just need to know what to do, and that's what I share with the students.
I know that it's really effective, and my clients rave about it. And so then one of my clients invited me to go see Suzanne present. And during her presentation, she was talking about to repair your digestion, you could take these various supplements. One being raw aloe, another being digestive enzymes, and then of course probiotics,
Yes.
and licorice root and ginger. And at the time, my digestive system seemed very busy. I was bloated, and I would get gaseous after meals, and it was just very busy. And I knew that there was something wrong, and even thought about going to a gastroenterologist. But after seeing Suzanne present, I went immediately to the health food store, and I got all 5 of these items. And I can honestly tell you that since I wake up and drink raw aloe in the morning, I take a liquid probiotic, I take a licorice root, and I eat little ginger chews, and all of these things have miraculously cured my digestion to where, I just feel so much better. I feel more energetic. I don't have the gas. I don't have the bloating, so it's just wonderful. So, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's important for people to feel good, and a lot of times people really don't realize how bad they're feeling till they start to feel better. So it's a great gift.
Yes.
I'm glad you're doing better.
And then for Suzanne's business, she has a byline that I just love, and it is SOUL. Can you tell us what SOUL stands for?
Yes, I can. It's seasonal, organic, unrefined, and local. And this is something I'm very, very passionate about. I am a cancer survivor, and I was very sick for quite a while. And after doing 10 surgeries and chemotherapy, while I was healing myself and reading tons of self-help books on nutrition, I decided to go to Bowman College. And when I went to Bowman College, that's where I learned about the number one thing you're supposed to do is repair digestion. Number 2 is eat seasonal, organic, unrefined, and local. So seasonal, you want to buy your fruits and vegetables from your local market or your farmer's market, where you're going to get the healthiest, most nutrient-dense foods. When you eat seasonal, you're going to eat an array of different vegetables and colors and fruits also. Then, so O is for organic. They did a study in 1993 on conventional and organic vegetables, and they found time after time again that the organic vegetables had more magnesium, more potassium, more vitamin C. And so people always say, oh, organic's so much more expensive. But you get what you pay for.
So worth it.
It is so worth it.
I don't know where I heard this, but it was something to the effect of a tomato, that is grown organically versus one that isn't. The nutrients were something like 10 times more. So you would have to eat, for instance, 10 tomatoes, to even get the nutrients in one organically grown
Exactly. And in the book by Michael Murray, it has the study in there, and it's like 93% more magnesium, 112% more vitamin C, 118% more potassium
Oh my
compared
gosh.
to the conventional. And they did it on corn, potatoes, apples, carrots, and I think they did pears also, but it was an amazing, to me, the proof was in the pudding,
Absolutely, and it's so worth it for your good health, because I know, some people will talk about the price of organic produce is so much more, but the good health is priceless, and missing work and medical bills, are far more expensive than just investing in some good natural organic produce.
Exactly. That's why I tell people, would you rather spend it on food or would you rather spend it on medicine? To me, that's the bottom
Exactly.
line. And I've been
Right.
through that, and it's no fun. So I love feeling healthy.
And then unrefined.
Yes, the unrefined are your basic whole foods. So if you're going to eat grains, you want to have whole grains like quinoa, millet, whole wheat berries. So you want to keep it whole instead of processed. You don't want to go to the store and buy a box or a bag of something with a bunch of names on it, because then it's processed. So when you're using whole fruits, whole vegetables, whole fish, whole grains, you're having unrefined food.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know quinoa has become quite popular, and it has more fiber and more protein. And I really love it, especially the red quinoa. It seems to have a little bit of a bolder taste.
It does.
And then I will sometimes mix it with brown rice or something just to give it a little bit more substance, but I love the quinoa. And then local. So you're looking for like farmers markets or?
Yes, when you buy from your local farmers and you're buying organic, you're not only helping yourself to get the most nutrient-dense food, you're actually helping the environment. And we're keeping the pesticides down, so we're not buying conventional food. So they don't use pesticides. And for it to travel to your farmer's market, your farmer's just bringing it. It isn't coming in an airplane or a big truck far away. So you're
Right.
helping, the environment with
Reducing
pollution.
the footprint.
Yes,
Right? They call
exactly.
it, yes, the footprint.
Exactly.
So it's just responsible and morally ethical as well.
It is.
So interesting. So then you are also a holistic chef. So you go to people's homes or you go to events and you prepare holistic meals?
Yes, that's what I do. One of the big things that I love to do is I teach nutrition and cooking lessons combined, but sometimes I just do cooking classes. I also,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what I do is I show them how to eat for health and how simple and easy it can be. If people want more involved recipes, I can give that to them. Most people today are in such a hurry and they don't have a lot of time. So they want things quick, simple, and easy.
Yes, that would be me.
So that's what I teach. And people in the past have said to me, well, eating healthy doesn't taste that good. It can, and it's very simple and easy to do just by adding herbs and spices and staying away from a lot of processed